So this is an example of one that I would do if there's a reading assignment. You could assign each of the students to a role. So one student could be working on the setting, one could be working on the problem, the other the solution. Just assign them the roles, and at the very end, kind of have them share out and collaborate and fix any changes that they think need to be fixed. And as I said earlier, it's huge and important to make sure that they all respect one another, mainly whenever they worked in groups. And the way to do that is to have them bond. So the team building spinner is one I thought was really cool. The students spin, and whichever one it lands on, they would have to answer the question. So an example of a question would be, what do you want to do when you grow up? And then they would share out, and then they would move on to the next person, so forth and so on. And then, as I was mentioning, they need to evaluate themselves at the end. So this is a cooperative learning self-evaluation. And it says, briefly describe your contribution to the cooperative learning project. How could your team work together more effectively next time? And then what does this all look like? I love this visual. It's students you can see all working together. They're working on a poster, it looks like, and you can see all the students are standing up and they're all actively engaged, which is awesome. This is what it should look like. And at the very bottom, I put another graphic organizer up there. This kind of goes back to the card idea that I was saying, where you could assign the students a role. One of them is the timekeeper. So that's somebody who makes sure that everybody is just moving on pace and going as they should. One you'll see is the scribe, so the reporter, I'm sorry. So the reporter just shares the summary, what they learned. And then you have the team leader, making sure everybody's on task. Kids love getting assigned a role because they love the responsibility and they love fulfilling it at the end. It's so rewarding for them. And this is just an awesome strategy overall, cooperative learning, to just build the students' confidence. And just, like I said, again, make them more open-minded. So I for sure love this strategy. Being out my field placement, this is a strategy that we use a lot. My mentor teacher loves group work, and I love it too, because there's such a difference when they're working individually on a math problem at their desk, and then when they're doing think, pair, share and working in their groups. I just feel like there's a lot more learning going on when they're all collaborating. And they love to talk. Fifth graders will talk. So that's one. The second one I want to touch base on with you is the tutorial strategy. In parentheses, I put closing the achievement gap. So that's the overall goal that you want to take with tutorial strategy. All right, so a brief description again is this takes place at the end of the school day, and the teacher works with the students in order to reach academic success in different content areas. The base of this model is that all students are capable of learning, and some just need more time on implementing different strategies. Tutorials are used to make sure all students reach standards. We as teachers know that all students are more than capable of passing. It is up to us to make sure they don't fail. So step by step, again, what this kind of looks like. One is plan time for tutorials during the school day. I know that's a really hard concept for teachers to wrap their mind around, because they're thinking, oh my God, our schedule is go, go, go. How do you expect me to take 30 minutes on my day to teach certain students? What my mentor teacher does, which I think is awesome, during reading, we have what's called wrap groups. So for 30 minutes before the reading, she'll work with like 3 to 4 students, and I'll work with 3 to 4 students that are struggling and at risk. And we just listen to them read. We give them strategies on how to become a better reader. And for math, we do the same. We take 30 minutes of station time, and we work with the kids who need a little bit of extra time and practice. So that's how we implement the 30 minutes, and it's key in this process, a tutorial. You need to put the time in. The next one is use assessment and observations to identify students who will benefit from tutorials. So that's your job as a teacher, to kind of keep track on the student progress and see which students are slacking and falling behind. And not only that, but kind of keep data on what they're doing, because you want to see where are they going wrong, what are they missing, and how could I fulfill that for them. So that's another big key to this. And then assess frequently to ensure mastery. I love this one, because at the end of your tutorial, you're always going to do a post-assessment and see where the students are at. For example, if little Sophia is working on a math problem and you're doing adding fractions, and you look and you see, oh, she forgot to do least common multiple. and you know something so simple and you know she knows how to do it, well, you have her right in front of you. You can just make the correction right there with her. And you can go over these come in multiple again. So you kind of just have it as a guide to help you. And if they're doing awesome, then you know, great, they got this. They're ready to move on to the next level. So continue to schedule tutorials until students are meeting standards. These all fall together. If they're not getting the point, you need to know as a teacher, go back and reteach it. We have to make sure that they get every little detail in order to gain mastery of the subject and they can move on to other subjects. So that's huge as well. The main purpose of this is to reach out to students who may be struggling and need the extra time with the teacher to truly understand the curriculum. The strategy requires outside time from the classroom or set aside time in the classroom, but when put in place, tutorial strategy is very effective. Once again, I got this list, some 50 strategies for teaching ESL, and a little example on how I would implement this in my classroom is this is a graphic organizer for a math worksheet. It's something you can do after school or during, like I said, a math group with your students. It has has a question, in the center. And then each box says, like, what do I know? Draw a picture. What operations will I use? And then check it. And they will put their final answer in the box. So just a great way to make sure they're double checking. They're knowing what method they're going to use. They're writing down the steps so they're not just rushing through it. And it also gives you an idea of where they're going wrong. Or if they're doing right, saying awesome and giving them praise and academic feedback for doing awesome. And then the very bottom is just kind of a visual of what this should look like. You see a teacher working one-on-one with a student. She's very happy, saying like, yay, good job, Caroline, you got this. I love this picture because you can just tell the student is just actively engaged and her confidence is just shooting up. And that is what we want. Overall, all these strategies are implemented just to make sure the students feel successful and they gain the confidence they need for life. And I love the teacher too. She's very happy. And we're happy when students achieve. So those are just 2 of the strategies. They're all awesome. You probably need a chance to read it. It's amazing, the book. And yeah, that's it. Thank y'all.